checking
I don't
myself.
know looking at myself yet. I need to quickly look at myself though, just to see what my shot's saying.
Oh, yeah, me and this bit, yeah, we can take it out. Me and you are just vain guys, innit?
It's got to be done, bro. You got to make sure everything's on point. All right, guys. Today with me here, we've got Luigi Newton, a good friend of mine. He's from Allen Capital. Luigi, do you want to tell the guys exactly what you're up to in the property market right now?
Yes, thank you, Jordan. My name's Luigi Newton. My business is called Allen Capital. I've known Jordan for quite a while now. I think we both started at the same time.
Yeah, definitely, man. I think when I first seen you start producing videos and stuff like that, I was like, yo, this guy's serious, man. This guy's producing, because I think like at the time, I think we started YouTube at the time, but your edit skills probably is a bit better than mine. The more you do it, the better you get at it as well. And I was just watching some videos the other day as well about editing, and I've got some good tricks for the next videos. But anyway, as you was introducing yourself, man.
Yeah. So I am a landlord from Nottingham. So I've got a small portfolio of properties in Nottingham. Obviously, I'm trying to grow that all the time. I've just about to get the keys for my next property joint venture with someone in the entertainment industry who lives in London. So we've kind of joint ventured on this property. It's an exciting deal. I can't go into the numbers on it, but it's probably one of my best deals yet.
Yeah.
It's a 6-bed HMO, and we're going to be refurbishing it, which might be a struggle because obviously we're in quarantine. We're just going to try and get as much done as we can. And yeah, basically turning it from a 5-bed to a 6-bed.
And I love 6-beds. Obviously, as you're purchasing it, you're going to be developing it and it's going to be top standard. When we do rent to rent, we always have to stick to a budget, and it's not our property essentially. So we can make it nicer, but there's a limit to what we can do. But 6-beds are nice. How have you found the process of having a deal going through during this time? Is it any slower, or is it still just cracking on as normal?
Well, to be honest with you, it is slightly slower, but I think it might be down to the solicitors. They're just taking so long, but I don't know if it's due to the lockdown.
Yeah.
Or I don't think it is. I think it's just that firm that we're using. So it's been quite frustrating because we should have had the keys like last month. Hopefully we're getting them in a few days' time, and then we can crack on.
Is there much work involved in order to turn it from a 5 to a 6-bed? Like extensions or anything? Or is it just a case of we got to knock down any walls internally and play with the structure? Or
that's a good question. So in terms of work that needs doing, it's not a simple like turn it from a 5 to a 6. Obviously, we are going to do that, but there's a lot more to it as well because we're going to add extra bathrooms in. It's a weird layout right now. All the bathrooms are on the ground floor. So imagine if you live on the floor, you've got to come down in your towel, go down the 2 flights of stairs, just have a shower and run back up in your towel. Like, it's not really...
It's not necessary.
What I want to do is, Jordan, want to put one bathroom on each floor.
It's not something you can just go in and do yourself then.
I can't do anything, Jordan, mate. I can't even do...
Do you know if a lot of builders are still working on properties and projects right now?
Yeah, to be honest with you, some of my guys are working, some of them aren't. Luckily, I think things like plastering can be done safely.
Yeah, very true. Well, you've done a few HMO style deals now. I know most people, a lot of people get started into property and they go down maybe a similar route. We went down rent to rent, deal packaging, something that's considered like low money or no money down. Well, it's always something down, so like low money down. Did you start out going straight into purchasing, or did you start out with another strategy?
Literally, I started out with purchasing, but going back, I would have done it a bit different. But what I did was I put 10% deposit down, and I got a residential property. But if I can take back time, I would have only put 5% down.
Okay.
Because it would have been money to do up the house a little bit. Because I literally did nothing to the house. I've never refurbed that house. That was my first one. So yeah, I went straight into purchasing, and I just rented out the spare rooms, and lived in one of the rooms.
Oh yeah, you lived in that one, yeah? Do you still live in that now?
No.
Okay, so in order for you to leave that and keep renting it out as a HMO, does it have to have 25% paid off?
No.
Does it have to go into a buy-to-let, or?
Just the equity's got to be in there.
Okay,
so,
with you.
Essentially, if there was no equity in there, you can't change it to a buy-to-let. Because there was a lot of equity in the property, I was able to switch it to a buy-to-let on a 80% loan to value. So it worked out.
Nice.
But it's weird because when we met, I think we met at one of the Grant Cardone events, and this was a good 2 years ago.
Yeah. Was that the UK, when you came to the UK?
Yeah. Yeah, but I
Yeah,
know we were talking then a little bit, and it's just so crazy because I feel like when we started, a lot of people was doing it, but a lot of people have fell off. And I
yeah,
feel like property is that type of thing where if you're not on it all the time, people will fall off. So it's good to see that we're still both in the game. But I'm interested to see how the lockdown has affected yourself and Jess's business because it's crazy right now. And I know a lot
yeah.
of people that specialize in rent to rent have
Mm.
been affected, especially SA,
Yeah,
you know.
yeah, yeah. I think luckily, and well, it's not really lucky, but we specialize in HMOs. We don't really do SA, and I've thought about it a lot of times, considering doing SA, especially when you see again the hype in the marketplace and the figures some people are showing on Facebook and stuff. You start thinking, I want to get involved, but I think SA's took a big hit. Obviously, a lot of people moving around and stuff. It's hard. That's taking a big hit. You're just going to have to try and get families on an AST or find key workers and NHS staff and see how well you go, contractors if you can, and just really work on getting the clients in. HMOs, for us, it has hit us in regards to voids. So obviously with a virus going around, right, it's advised not to move house and not to do these things. And in a house share, I know me personally, I wouldn't be moving into a house share now if whilst all this is going on. I wouldn't want to because there's shared facilities in there. So that means ultimately there's less people looking for rooms, which means typically it's slower to let the rooms. So we've just been working really hard on that, pushing the marketing, organic, paid marketing, constantly making new adverts all the time so they don't get old. And that's how we've been letting our rooms. But again, still not at the rate what it would normally be. So we've got voids. It's opened up voids for us. So that means we've got a number of voids where people aren't actually living in the rooms, living in the properties. And then we've got another category of voids where we've got people living in the houses, but they can't actually afford to pay the rent due to their situation, due to being laid off. Most people haven't been laid off; they've just been their employment's been paused or whatever for a number of weeks or months, or furloughed.
So difficult.
So yeah,
So difficult to how to play it because this is brand new. We've not experienced this before. A
mm,
massive virus country, and it's kind of like you want to be a good landlord, you want to keep that good relationship, that good professionalism,
yeah,
and it's kind of hard to see who is, milking it a little bit and who's actually trying to play the system a little bit. So you have to be very careful. And I just think trying to stay professional right now is key. So out of your portfolio of rent to rents, how many people, like, would you say roughly has paid?
to be fair, I don't think we've been hit as hard as we could have, and I think it's quite lucky in that sense. I would say we've probably got between 8 and 10 people, 8 and 10 people that have phoned up and said, look, we're going to have trouble paying. Either paying little bits what they can or paying nothing at all. There's a mixture. Most people are paying something. There's only a few people that haven't been able to pay anything, and obviously they're going to have to set up like a plan and arrangement for them to kind of catch back up.
Yeah.
But there's only been a few people, considering the total amount of tenants we've got. 8 or 10 is not too bad at all. But when you combine the 8 or 10 with another, maybe 8 or 10 rooms that are actually empty, obviously it doubles. So then it becomes a problem.
Some people, like, as soon as the virus came, some people just said, right, I'm gone. Because that's what happened
Yeah,
to me.
so yeah. So I forgot about that as well. So I mean, obviously we've got some international people that were just like, we didn't even know they were gone. Some people didn't even say anything; they're just gone. You know what I mean? We find out from other housemates or just find out through some other means that so and so has just up and left and gone back to their country because they need to lock down there. People leaving early and stuff like that. People panicking. But on the flip side, we've also had people that were due to leave that have stayed because they don't really want to move around right now as well. So that kind of even the playing field. Obviously we've got a business to run and we need money coming in to operate, but I mean it's never really going to work for anybody if you start getting too upset about it and demanding the rent, so
Yeah. 'Cause
everything's a negotiation, man.
you see some horror
Yeah,
stories of illegal evictions, and
yeah,
you see some real horror stories because if a landlord loses their cool with a tenant, that is the worst case scenario. You do not want that. You've
yeah,
got to be
man.
careful. So it sounds to me like you guys are doing a great job. You're still active, still trying to let the rooms that are available, but also following the government guidelines. In terms of yourself and just business that you've got right now, are you looking to take on new deals now, or are you literally just focusing on the properties that you've got and making sure everything's on track with them? And then obviously when the market kind of settles down and COVID-19 virus is hopefully gone, are you going to start trying to get more deals, or what's the move?
That's a great question. So both really. It's really tough because we have right now opened up more voids than ever before, I would say, and more voids than we're comfortable with. Our main focus has to be to close them voids and get our occupancy rates up, have the properties filled and running nicely. But on the flip side, I always want to grow, and especially at a time like this, there's going to be so many opportunities presenting themselves. So you already are starting to creep out of the woodwork, and it's rent to rent is one of the strategies where you can pick up these properties, because ultimately people want rid of their houses right now, especially if they're empty, if they're struggling to rent them, they just don't want the hassle from the tenants, or they're struggling with their own financial situations. They're looking to offload stuff, whatever it is, and properties is one of them things. So when people are looking to offload stuff, obviously we can acquire them on a rent to rent basis and start giving that person some guaranteed rent. If they need stability right now, it's very suitable for them. And also we can give them the option for a lease. We can give the option for a lease option as well. So if they need to purchase in there as well and they're happy with the terms, then the lease option can be done. So I think because of that, there's plenty of opportunities to be taken. How about you? What's your game plan right now?
Basically, what I'm trying to do right now is I've got a landlord that I'm working with, and I've agreed to purchase his whole portfolio from him. I'm happy with the prices.
Nice.
So it's a case of basically buying each one. I've got a JV that I'm doing on the first one, as I said, with this person from London. And then the second one, I'm probably going to buy that on a JV as well.
Awesome,
and then the third one, I think I'm just going to use my own funds, purely my own funds, and just buy the third one. Yeah, I can't reveal too much, but that's my plan. And also, I'm always looking out for other deals as well. I know that you mentioned something, and obviously we've had the ball rolling about it. I don't want to say too much about that, but there's other stuff myself and you are working on in terms of potentials in Coventry. I'm open to that, and I think it's a case of myself and you doing our more digging and researching, and that could be a shout as well,
100%, man. I hope it is, man. There's always a way. Yeah. Hoping we can do something there. But I mean, it sounds like you've got your fingers in a few pies there, and it definitely sounds like you've got a nice little pipeline ready to go. Yeah. I mean, most of your deals JV, and talk to me about JV and how you find that, because obviously for a lot of people, obviously like yourself, where you got started on a nice what sounds like a bit of a low money down deal for your first one, but going forwards from there, has it been like JVs and stuff?
Well, just to kind of go back, so my first one I did was definitely not no money down. I definitely had skin in the game. I had money invested, my own money, but I was able to refinance it and pull all my money back out. And I've literally kept to that same strategy for my whole career so far. Yeah, so from my first deal, I've always worked with investors or joint venture partners on a smaller scale. But now, the deals I do going forward, each deal is different, but sometimes it might be a case of I find the deal, I manage all the refurbishment work, I make sure the property is being managed correctly by the property managers. So I do all of that, and the joint venture partner will just fund the deal, and then we'll split the profit 50-50. So that's one way I do it. But sometimes it could be, a loan agreement between yourself and a partner. So there's different ways of doing it, and I think it's all, each individual deal is, you can structure it how you want, really. Making it a win-win for both parties. I think that's key, because a lot of people, they don't want to let their deals go. And I think sometimes it's best to bring someone in. There's been cases before where a deal would have costed £80,000 to do. I've only had £40,000. There was no one wanted to fund the whole deal, so I had to bring in someone to fund half of it, and we just went 50-50.
Yeah.
So I just think it's case by case, and there's so many different ways to play it. So yeah, I definitely use JVs and work with investors.
Nice. I think that topic alone, maybe we'll talk about that for a bit longer. I think a lot of people listening and now watching the video will be interested in joint venture JVs, because it's not just a starting out thing. It's something that, you know, people will joint venture well into their career, well into their journey, because it's a joint venture. You know, it's a great way to acquire anything or to do any kind of deal. Do you enjoy doing joint ventures? I mean, how have you found the experience? Have they all gone well?
Yeah, so there's always bumps in the road, whether you're doing your own deals or working with someone else. But I just think that, you know, you do have preferred people what you would want to work with. And
Yeah.
sometimes the deal is really good. You will have a few different options of people that want to JV with you on the deal. And that has been the case for myself. But then you can kind of think, right, who do I want to work with long term? Because it is a big thing. You know, essentially you're both owning a property together.
Yeah.
That's not a small thing. That's a big commitment.
Yeah.
So you want to make sure that you have a good relationship with the person, you can chat to them
Yeah.
easily, and that you get on well. I think that's a good starting point.
Yeah.
And there, is it a win-win situation? Are they super happy with the arrangement? Are you super happy with the arrangement? If you are, then you're good to go.
Yeah, because like you said, you've got a couple of different joint ventures actually happening right now. So obviously you've got the typical loan agreements where somebody's kind of just completely hands off, armchair investor. They'll give you the money for a fixed return over a fixed period of time, and that's it. They're not really too involved. They just want a great return. And then you've got the other investor, the other joint venture, who's actually joint venturing with you in the deal, and you're sharing the risk and sharing the reward. And I think in a lot of cases, people just want the armchair investor so they can take on the deal themselves and just have the money. But would you say there's benefits to actually having somebody share the risk and share the reward as well, and take, you know, and share the property
Yeah,
with?
kind of case by case, because for example, say if someone approached me and said, right, Luigi, I've got say £10,000 or £20,000, I might still be able to work with them. I probably will be able to work with them, but it wouldn't be a JV type of situation. It'll be
Yeah.
more loan agreement. So I will borrow £10,000, we'll borrow that on a 10% return over a 1 year period. And that has worked, and that is something I do. But the other way is someone approaches me with, say, £200,000, and then it's a different conversation. So I think it is case by case. And the main thing I'd say to people is, if you have a rubbish deal, and you're going to struggle to do either, to
Yeah.
work with people, because the numbers is key. You know, the first thing people are going to want to hear is the numbers. You know, how much is the purchase price? What's the refurb cost? What's it going to be worth when we've done it up?
Absolutely. I think obviously, like you just mentioned, a good deal will attract the right investors. So if the deal stacks, the figures are good, and it's really appealing to anybody that knows what they're doing, it doesn't matter to you. It does matter about you to a point, but if the deal's really good, it's going to attract investors.
Yeah.
Can you shine any light on how you found investors or joint venture partners in the past?
Honestly, I don't really push for things like that. I just prefer people to come to myself, and then just have that conversation, because this is a relationship game. You know, people don't really talk about this much, but I think property is a big relationship game. You know, working with other people, connecting, networking is so crucial. And I think a lot of people want to do things on their own, and they're not focused on, right, let me be friends with this person, and let's all work together. And I think that is crucial. And being approachable, you know, if I was just like, oh, you've got no money, we can't do anything, that is not the right frame of mind. I like to help everyone and give advice where I can. I only advise on things that I've done myself. You know, I think that's the credibility side of things, which is important.
That's nice. So yeah, so it's important to then be open-minded and not just closing certain people or certain opportunities off and not exploring if you think they haven't got much money to invest right now. They could be great for another type of deal, or they might know some people that can get involved and bring up the rest of the funds for
And I just think it's
a
good
larger
karma.
deal.
Yeah, I just think it's good karma as well. If you're, say, if there's a brand new person starting out in property and they've got a burning question, you know, they're coming to you, you should feel quite honored that they are looking to you for advice, and definitely help them out. And I think things come in a full circle. I'm a spiritual person. I believe in God. And I do think that things come in a full circle, and what you put out is what you get back.
Yeah, man. No, I love that. I love that. It's definitely, you know, at this stage, I remember I was reaching out to people. That's exactly how I got started in rent to rent. I didn't actually do a course specifically on rent. I've done courses on other things, property in general, below market value deals, lease options, general property courses and stuff like that. Even HMOs, but I've never done a course specifically on rent to rents. But I reached out to people that were doing it and kind of shadowed them, went to meet them, saw properties and stuff. And that's essentially how I started learning about the strategy and how to actually implement it and what to actually do once your first deal gets accepted and stuff. So you're right, man. You've got to, you know, you've got to have people ahead of you that can sort of drag you up, pull you up, and help grow you. But at the same time, people that you're pulling up as well to help them as well. So now I believe in that.
Yeah, exactly, mate. I'm 100% with you on that. I've just sent you a message on here. I'm not sure if you got it on the chat.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, wicked. So, crop this bit out.
We'll just crop this bit out, bro.
As well, and I just messed it all up. But you know what, Jordan? I just want to say, mate, I love you guys' enthusiasm and your passion that you've got for property, because that's another aspect to it. Is, do you actually love property, and do you love being a landlord? Obviously, you don't have to be a landlord to be involved in property. You can give that to managers, but you know, do you have the passion for property? I believe you guys do. I believe I do as well. So that's probably why we're still here doing it.
Yeah, man, definitely. I think the other thing is just like having big targets. When we've got big targets, that we're nowhere near where we want to be. Do you know what I mean? You must feel the same way. Like you just want to acquire more and more and more. Like, so we want to grow the business. We want to be nationwide. You know, so we have so much work to do, so much to be done. You know, we can't take our foot off the gas right now. We just can't, because we're just things are nowhere near complete. Well, they never will be complete. But you know, we're not near that target yet. So we've got to head straight on into it. So that pulls us forward.
Yeah, you know what? When I did my first couple of deals, I was so hungry and I was frustrated. I can remember that feeling like, come on, let me just get something. Like, I'm struggling here. Like, I just want a deal that's going to make me money. You know, I want to improve my situation. I feel like that hunger and that ambition, not everyone's got that. Some people will look into property and say, yeah, I'm going to do it. They'll spend 3 months trying and they'll give up. You know, that is not the right attitude. I think I truly believe only certain people are going to be successful in property. You have to be a certain type of person.
Yeah, 100%. Me as well. And I don't want to touch on it too much, because I know a lot of emotions are going to get thrown out on this particular topic. But you know, with trainers and with, I'm not a big massive fan of like the property training business. But at the end of the day, if it wasn't for that, I wouldn't probably be where I am now, because I wouldn't have acquired the knowledge. You know, how else would I have acquired that knowledge? So I've got to pay it some level of respect. And you know, there's a lot of people that don't get any level of success that just slate off training companies. People that do that purchase training or mentorship from trainers and expect to have the deals fall into their hands automatically just because they've paid 20 grand or just because they've paid £5,000. At the beginning, I don't know, this isn't going to be for most people, but for me, I was shit scared of picking up the phone. So I'll be sitting there on Gumtree and on Spare Room and Rightmove or whatever, and I'll be sitting there for 15, 20 minutes before I picked up the phone. So I had to earn the courage I've got today to just pick up the phone and do deals, and the knowledge that you've got. It all has to be earned. Someone can't give it to you. So not everyone's built for it, but I think, you know, most people should be capable of it.
Yeah, and I think it's that whole law of attraction thing as well. You know, that is a massive thing. And I do believe in the law of attraction. If it's backed up with massive action, then it works. I think if a lot of people, they believe in the law of attraction and they think they're practicing it by doing their visualization, by reading books every day, you know, by mentally focusing on what they want from life, which is great. But also, you've got to put in that work.
Yeah, man.
you're not putting in the work, you're not going to get anywhere. And that's in any field. So things aren't just going to come to people. So I think you're right about that. Definitely, the action is just the most crucial thing.
Yeah, man. I know we're getting tight on time now, as well. We should wrap this up. But let me just ask you just one thing, Luigi, man. Don't you miss that feeling, yeah, of what you just said about before you had any deals and you were so hungry to get a deal and you were just doing anything, ridiculous things. I remember I was doing outrageous things to get deals. I was so hungry, I wanted deals. There was so much output. And it reminds me, I was thinking about it the other day, it reminds me of like now it's a bit easier. Like like I just said, I'm by no means anywhere on my journey. I'm still at the beginning. But before I had any deals, all I would wake up, think about getting deals, go to sleep, think about getting deals. So many conversations throughout the day, so many offers in, so much activity. And whether deals were the best or they weren't the best, I was just going just like a madman, just all thinking about deals all day. And I have to say, sadly, that has naturally died down a bit now. And when I remind myself of it, it gets me excited because I just need to light back up. You need to stay fueled like that, man. So
100%. And I just think your mentality changes the further on you get in your career. So like when we started out, we was like super hungry, you know, and it was almost frustrating ourselves how hungry we felt to get success in property. But then the hunger's still there, and I'm sure it is still with you as well.
100%.
Or it's just the way we're approaching things is more patient. Learn how to control your own mind and not get frustrated, because if you are frustrated, I personally think that's pushing you back. But if you learn how to chill and relax and just focus on what you can control, then I think that's the key to it.
That's what it is, man.
It's not a nice feeling though. You know, I want a deal now. Like that impatience, I don't think it's good. So I think it's good that we've controlled that.
You need to stay focused, because you know when you've got that feeling as well, like that burning.
Yeah.
The burning desire is a good thing, but when you've got that thing about you just need a deal, we need a deal, you haven't got so much clarity, and then what that means is you can't turn down deals. You know, so if a deal is not right, you would do everything you can in your mind to try and justify it. Do you know what I mean?
Be picky with your deals. You know, if you're not sure about a certain deal, ask some people that you can trust. For example, myself or Jordan. You know, we're always happy to chat to people. You know, if they want to show us their deal, or if they wanted like a coaching session or something like that, we're always open to it. Starting out, you're doing rent to rent or purchasing, lease options, anything. Just be super picky, because not every deal is a good deal. And like even lease options, you know, not every lease option is good. I'm sure you have as well, Jordan. Turned down several lease option agreement deals. I've turned down several rent-to-rent deals as well. Like literally, I've turned down, when I was doing rent-to-rent, because I'm not focused on that right now, but when I was doing about a year and a half ago, I actually turned down about 4 or 5 rent-to-rent deals before I just took one.
Yeah.
In my portfolio, I own them all except for one is a rent-to-rent. And yeah, I just shopped around so much and I said no to people. So
you have to.
But Jordan, thank you so much, mate, for touching base with me today. I think we should do more of these because we've only just scratched the surface, but we don't want to make these videos long. Yeah.
Absolutely, man. We don't want to make them too long. We need to keep people engaged, people watching. I think everybody go check out Luigi's channel. Is it LN Capital?
LN Capital on Instagram. It's LN Capital. YouTube, type in Luigi Newton or type in LN Capital. It'll come up.
We're going to drop the video on both our channels. So we'll put all the links below in the description. Luigi, you keep smashing it, bro. And we'll catch up soon and drop some more value for the people.
All right, mate. Speak to you in a bit.